Hi everyone, I am Disu Sarai. Today our groups are going to present why individuals commit the corruption and abuse of the power. So first of all, why they do the corruptions and abuse the power. So number one point is personal gain and greed. Second one, weak institutional oversight. Third one is lack of accountability. And fourth, political influence and the loyalty. Five, lower salaries and economical pressures. Six, psychological justifications. And seven, opportunities and the temptation. So many individuals are motivated by the opportunity to gain the power, status or the money. So they feel the benefit outweigh the risk, especially if they have a low risk of being caught. In environment with the poor governance and the weak law enforcement and the limited transparency, individuals feel more confident in acting the corruptly without the facing the consequences. So when there is no strict system to check the behavior, people in the power may abuse it freely. Lack of the audit, supervisions, and the whistleblower protection encourage the misconducts. So in some cultures, the organizational corruption may be the normalized or even the expected. So paraphrase like everyone does it, or it's just how think they work here. Reflect tolerant attitude and toward the unethical behavior. So leader may use their power to reward the allies or the punish the enemies, often ignoring the rules and the ethical standard. Political corruptions often involve the nepotism, favoritism. So public officials or the worker with the low pay might turn to delivery or the misuse of the power and the supplement in their income. So about other part, my friend will discuss.
Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Murray. Today I am going to present about why individual committee corruption and abuse of power. So it is for a variety of psychological, social and systematic reasons. Here are some of the key factors. So the first one is personal gain. Financial incentive. Many people engage in corruption to gain money, assets, or privilege, power, and status. Some abuse power to elevate their influence, control, or reputation. And the second one is lack of accountability. So weak legal system. When law are not enforced or penalty or minimal, the risk of being caused is low. And ineffective oversight. Without proper check and balance, individual in power can act without consequences. So the third one is cultural and social norms. So normalization of corruption. In some environment, corruption is seen as normal way of getting things done, and peer pressure. If other in the same role are corrupt, individual may follow suit to fit in or avoid conflict. And the fourth one is opportunity. Access to resources. Individuals in high position often have control over valuable resources, making it easier to misuse it. And lack of transparency, hidden process, and a secretive system create environment where corruption can thrive. And the fifth one is psychological factor, and the sixth one is desperation or needs. So low salary or poor working condition. In some cases, corruption is a mean of survival or supplementing inadequate income. And the seventh point is systematic problem. So institutional decay. If an organization or government is already corrupt, individual may swing the trend. So, in summary, corruption and abuse of power often stem from a combination of individual motivation, systematic failure, and cultural influence. Addressing them requires not just punishing offenders but also reforming the structure and norms that that enable such behaviors. Thank you.
Let me begin with a story from 18th century China. Hessian, a man once known for his integrity, entered the Qing imperial court as an idealistic young official. He was sharp, hardworking, and initially resisted the corruption around him. But everything changed after 1780, when Emperor Qianlong tasked him with investigating a high-profile corruption case involving Governor Li Xiao. Hessian discovered something alarming. Powerful figures like Li survived not by being honest, but by pleasing the emperor. Li's crimes were severe, but his loyalty to the throne earned him leniency. For Hessian, this was a turning point. He realized that in a system where the ruler's favor mattered more than the law, corruption wasn't just tolerated, it was rewarded. So Hessian adapted. He became the emperor's most efficient aide, managing finances, diplomacy, and even imperial whims. But he also began embezzling on a staggering scale, amassing wealth equal to 15 years of the Qing dynasty's tax revenue. How the system enabled him. Emperor Qianlong turned a blind eye because Hessian funded his lavish lifestyle. Colleagues feared him. Oversight was non-existent. Hessian, once principled, now saw power as a tool for personal gain. His downfall came only after Qianlong's death, when the new emperor Jiaqing executed him not for justice, but to confiscate his wealth. This tragedy reveals a universal truth. Corruption thrives where systems fail. Without checks on power, even the talented become tyrants. Now, let's fast forward to 1970s Hong Kong. Back then, corruption was as normalized as in Hessian's time. Police took bribes openly. Businesses greased palms to survive. But in 1974, something revolutionary happened. Hong Kong established the Independent Commission Against Corruption, ICAC. Unlike the Qing dynasty's toothless bureaucracy, the ICAC had three weapons. 1. Fearless independence. It answered directly to the city's leader, free from political interference. 2. Zero tolerance. Even small bribes were prosecuted. In 1977, 119 police officers resigned or fled to avoid arrest. 3. Public trust. Citizens were encouraged to report corruption anonymously, breaking the cycle of silence. The result? By the 1990s, Hong Kong transformed from a corruption hotspot into one of the world's cleanest societies. What's the lesson here? Hessian's story and Hong Kong's ICAC are two sides of the same coin. Hessian fell because the system allowed him to fall. There were no ICAC-style safeguards, no oversight, no accountability, no cultural shift. But Hong Kong proves that corruption isn't inevitable. It requires three things: systems that punish the powerful, not protect them; institutions that act independently, free from patronage; societies that reject excuses like everyone does it. In closing, let's remember, power doesn't have to corrupt. Hessian's tragedy was a product of his time, but our time can choose differently. Build systems where integrity is rewarded, whistleblowers are heroes, and no one, no matter how talented, is above the law.
Hello, it's Miss Subarnagiri. I am from BHM Hospitality, and I'm giving a presentation video of the KR subject. So my topic is, why do the individual commit corruption and abuse of power? So people commit the corruption and abuse of power on the different points. I will explain it. So on the grid they want more power, money, want and benefits of themselves. So lack of punishments, they have the benefit, like they believes they won't get the catch or punished by the law. So opportunity, they are in the position where they can take advantage without being noticed. Like they have another point, like pressure, they may feel a focus to help friends, families, or superiors, even it's a wrong way. So poor values. They don't care what about rights or wrong, or they think everyone else is doing it. Like weak systems, if the rules are not strong, and it's clearly I say that the is cheating to the systems. It's a lack of system. So at last, in the short, I will say that it usually happens when the someone sees or chance to gain something unfairly, or think what they face on the law and power should be maintained on their systems. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Arjun Nepal, and I'm gonna talk about why people turn corrupt and why they misuse the power. So, corruption and talking about corruption and misuse of power, it does not happen overnight. It happens when three things mixes. The things are like greed, opportunity, and consequences. When first talking about the greed, some people want more money, more power, more control, more luxury. So power is the structure to get through it. Second, opportunity. In weak system with poor checks and no transparency, it becomes easy to take advantage. If no one's watching, temptation wins. Third, no accountability. When leader aren't punished, others follow. It becomes a culture and everyone does it. And that's dangerous. Psychologically, power changes people. It boosts confidence while kills empathy. People forgot why were trusted and think they are untouchable. In many places, low salaries, poverty, and inequality make corruption feel like survival. Some justify it as just helping their family, but over time, this small act create a huge impact. Ruined system, lost trust, and suffering for the common people. Worst of all, when the top leaders are corrupt, the whole system roots, and the one who speaks out silenced. Okay, thank you.
Hello, it's me Samyog from BHM faculty, and this is the short video presentation about the subject of Kaira. The topic is why individual peoples or political peoples do corruptions and abuse of power when they are in the power. So this one I would like to give some reflection and some points, main points why they are doing this, why for them or for what they are doing this. I will give some points and some explanation about this. So, corruption and abuse of power are serious ethical issue that exist in both public and private sectors in the worldwide. So, these behaviors occurs when individuals use their uh, power to gain their one personal satisfaction, or violating the laws, regulations, and moral principles. Understanding why individuals engage in such actions is crucial for promoting integrity and transparency in society. So main explanation is there are several reasons for why they are doing this when individual commit the corruption and abuse of power. So some of them are greed and self-interest. A common motivation is the desire for personal. Individuals may misuse their authority to gain money, gifts, or other benefits beyond their legal income. So next one is lack of accountability. When there are weak systems of oversights, individuals may believe they can act corruptly without being catched or punished by the governments, because they cannot catch, nobody see their corruption because they are in the white coat, means they are already in the political status, they handling a good political status, and nobody will catch them and punish them. Weak governance and opportunity. In environments with poor regulations, insufficient supervisions, or lack of internal controls, the chance of engaging in corruptions acts increase. So with poor regulations of the country or not stable government, it will give the chance to do them corruption, abuse of laws. So next one is cultural and per influence. Cultural and per influence means in some organizations or societies corruption is normalized or even encouraged, making individuals feel it acceptable or necessary to follow along. So fifth one points is why they're doing financial or social pressure. People facing economic hardship or pressure to meet unrealistic goals might turn to unethical practices as a coping mechanisms in the corruption. So due to the lack of financial, they are doing that one, not insufficient wages or salaries in the authority. They haven't taken the more salaries, or they cannot achieve their own economic or financial status. So for that to achieve the financial status themselves, also they do the corruption or abuse of power. Desire for power and control. Why people have desire of power and control? Some individuals um, misuse their authority to maintain dominance, super dominance, and positions, or secure their positions of influence. Oppositions or secure their positions in of the influence means those who are in the power, they want a continue power and continue post. For that one, they are doing the corruption. They putting the lot of money in them in the political areas, and they rise their votes and they want to win again and again, year by year. So like this they abuse the powers. So my short reflection for this one is, reflecting on these factors, it becomes clear that corruption and abuse of power are not only personal choice but also influenced by the surrounding but also influencing by the surrounding environment. To reduce such behavior, both individuals integrity and systematic reforms are necessary. Strong leadership, clear rules, transparency, and a culture of accountability can help discourage corruption. As future professionals and leaders, we must commit to ethical behavior and encourage others to do the same, promoting fairness and justice in their every aspects of the society. That means to make this corruption